Welcome everybody to another episode of Sanctified Rebellion Radio. I am your host, Mike, coming at you live for the very first time from my studio basement office, The Dungeon. Oh yeah. What's up everybody? Happy Monday. Yep, that's right, another Monday, another week is starting. And guess what? It's the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday, so you know there's a lot of tired folk and probably a lot of drunk folk hanging out around the world today, especially in the U.S. here. Before I jump into the topics for today, I just want to mention that the quality of this audio is probably not going to be the greatest. And the reason for that is because I'm actually using the microphone on my laptop to record the show. I wanted to be able to incorporate some music and stuff into the show, and just to give it that extra feel, you know, to make it more professional. I'm eventually here soon, as that good old tax money rolls in, going to purchase a USB microphone that is of extreme high quality, so that I can make sure that I provide you guys with high quality audio, as well as stellar content to listen to. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. The first thing, obviously, that we got to talk about today, the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not a huge football fan by any stretch of the imagination. I am more of a combat sport kind of guy. I like some mixed martial arts, some blood, some guts, some gore. But I'm not a real big fan of football. It just moves too slow, there's too much stopping, too many commercial breaks. It's just straight up annoying. So I don't get into football too much. Here lately, however, believe it or not, my wife is a huge football fan, so I watch the games with her, and even though it kills my attention span, I've started to kind of get into it. I was glued to last night's game. And the reason I was glued to last night's game, and not so much any other game, is because it was action-packed, even though it was completely one-sided, and I was rooting for Seattle. And the reason I was rooting for Seattle was because of Russell Wilson, who, like myself, is a Christian and is not ashamed to let that fact be known. So I wanted to show some support from my bro, you know what I'm saying? So, it was a good game. I think that everybody except maybe the Denver Broncos played well. That was just an incredible blowout. I mean, wow. You knew that something was going to happen. That first big play where the ball was snapped over Peyton Manning's head. You just knew that, you know what, it's all downhill from here. That does not bode well for the rest of the game. And sure enough, it did not bode well at all. There was a lot of good excitement and action going on. I tell you what, the Seattle Seahawks have to be one of the hardest hitting teams I have ever seen. And I'm not a football fan. I don't watch a lot of football, but in the games I've seen, I've never seen people hit that hard. I'm telling you, there's a reason why I call them the Legion of Boom, man. These guys mean business. They mean serious business. So like that game really got my attention. I think I might actually try to keep up with football next year. I know that there's a lot of rules to the game, and sometimes that makes it a little like, I don't know if I really want to watch that. I don't know. But you got to learn sometime, and the best way to learn is just to watch and pick up on things as you go along. So I might give it a shot next year. I've been wanting to try to expand myself into some sports stuff and whatnot, something outside of just watching two grown dudes beat the snot out of each other. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know if that's going to be something I can actually stick with or not. Now, usually people tune into the Super Bowl to talk about the commercials. Well, not to talk about them, but to watch them and then talk about them. This year, I thought was pretty disappointing for commercials, actually. There was a couple that were really funny and a couple that were really stupid, and some that are just like, I don't understand who thought this would be good advertising. One of the best commercials of the night, though, was Radio Shack. Man, I loved that the 80s wants their store back. I mean, that is hilarious. Having all those guys from the 80s come in, all those celebrities and characters that I grew up with. I'm an 80s kid, so seeing Hulk Hogan back in the Hulkster shirt, and seeing all those, I think it was Kid and Play from House Party. I mean, that was funny, man. That was funny, and it was very, very well done. I liked the Duck Dynasty commercial, the Time Warner one. That was okay. I absolutely just could not stand the Coca-Cola commercial. The one where they had America the Beautiful sung in like 5 different languages. I get the point they're trying to make, America's multicultural, but it was just packed so full of ideology that what they were really trying to say. It wasn't about selling a product. It was about pushing an ideology, and I just felt like that was kind of like, really? Really? Come on now. I like the point, part of the point, yes, we are a nation that is comprised of people from all walks of life, and I think that that's freaking fantastic and awesome. But I don't know. I just thought the commercial, I almost said computer. The commercial was really contrived, so I don't know. I didn't really care for it. Okay, another one I didn't care for was the whole Morpheus Matrix commercial for, I forget which car company. There were so many different ones that advertised. I mean, the Matrix is completely outdated. It's not relevant at all anymore. So why would you? I mean, it is in a film standpoint, from a film fan and whatnot, and cinematic history buff type of deal, but not for advertising. It was, I don't know, it was weird, and the whole opera singing thing was just like, what? I don't know. Maybe a lot of people liked it. I don't know. I didn't really care for it that much. So whatevs. That's my wife's favorite word. She made it up. Then I just happened to not too long ago to hear that same word said on an episode of Ultimate Spider-Man my children were watching. So yeah, Rabbit Trail. So yeah, I didn't really care much for those commercials, and the Maserati commercial. Good grief, that commercial was ridiculous. I mean, who can actually afford to buy a Maserati? I don't care how good your advertising is, until you lower the price of your vehicle to $5, I'm not going to be able to get it. That's just because I'm broke right now, though. Anyway, I didn't really care for that one either. Another great one. This was fantastic. The Doritos commercial with the time machine. That was classic. Absolutely loved that whole thing there. It was so awesome. I love how Doritos always has a funny commercial every year. If you didn't see the commercial, you should search for it on YouTube and watch it. But basically, this little kid has this cardboard box that he got standing up, and it says "Time Machine" on it. And he's like, "Hey, dude, come here," to this older guy that's walking down the street eating a bag of Doritos. And this kid, I don't know, he's probably 8 or 9 or something like that. It's like, "Hey, mister, do you want to try my time machine? It's powered by Doritos." And the guy's like, "Awesome, sure." So he gets in it and gives the kid his bag of Doritos. The kid's all munching on his Doritos, like, nom, 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 nom. And he starts shaking the box and "Oh, it's really working." And this guy's like, "This is going to be the greatest day of my life." He's all excited. And then this old guy comes out of the house behind the kid and is like, "Get off my lawn, blah, blah, blah." And right when the kid takes off with the bag of Doritos, the guy in the time machine comes out, sees the old guy, and thinks it's that kid. And he's like, "Wow, this is awesome. It really worked." It was hilarious. It was great. Watch it. It's much funnier than what I'm butchering it by just telling it to you, but you should check it out. It's awesome. Fantastic stuff. So the Super Bowl was pretty fun. I watched it with my wife and kids. We didn't do a whole party thing. We just kind of hung out at home, did our own thing. It was pretty cool. It was fun. The Super Bowl is a cultural phenomenon here in America. It might as well be a national holiday. Except you don't get time off work. You don't need to. It's on a Sunday. But it's practically a national holiday, and while I'm not a football fan, I like to participate in culture. You know, it's part of my deal as a Christian who tries to engage culture. It's I want to participate in culture. I want to see what it's all about. So I enjoyed it, and I especially enjoyed the halftime show. I really didn't think I would. I'm not a Bruno Mars fan, not into that style of music at all. I'm a classic rock, kind of like starting to kind of get a little country as far as my musical taste. I love all music, really, but there's just certain types I listen to more than others. Classic rock is my main style. So Bruno Mars was not at all on my list of, this seems like an exciting performer to have at the Super Bowl. But watching his performance kind of was like a throwback to the old Motown performers like James Brown and Smokey Robinson and stuff like that. It was very well done, and a very classy shout-out and tribute to our troops. That was just fantastic. I was really happy and excited to see the troops honored so much at the Super Bowl. So that was really cool. But the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love the Chili Peppers. I thought they rocked it out real well. It was awesome. A lot of people were complaining because Anthony Kiedis and Flea didn't have a shirt on. And this especially to me came from Christians. I saw some comments on Facebook and some stuff on Twitter from conservatives and Christians, which I am both of those. But I totally thought that the reaction was stupid. And that was, that's disgusting. They should have had a shirt on. That's trashy. I mean, really? That's what rock music is like. That's what these guys have performed like their whole lives. I mean, just be thankful to God that Flea had pants on. Okay? If anybody out there listening is a Red Hot Chili Pepper fan, you know that back in the day, dude used to do the show with no pants on and had a sock on his ding-dong. Alright? He at least had pants on, and I was happy about that. I thought the performance was great. I didn't think there was anything trashy about it. They were just being rock stars. I mean, do you get offended when you see a guy take his shirt off and go swimming? I mean, if not, then you're kind of living a double standard here. Then what the problem really isn't that they didn't have shirts on, it's that they are rock musicians. What is this, 1954? I mean, really? Grow up. Jeez. I got no patience or tolerance for Christians and conservatives who bash crap like that and wonder why they're completely irrelevant in culture. Bunch of morons. Morons! Okay, I feel a little better now that I vented a little bit on that. I thought it was good all the way around, though. Good game, good show, a little lackluster on the commercials, but not too terrible. Overall, it was an enjoyable experience. Hopefully all you guys who watched it enjoyed it as well. Okay, I want to shift gears now and talk about some big movie news. This news was huge. Happened a few days ago, just before the weekend, on Friday, I believe it was. And this news, oh man, I don't even know what to say about it. You know, I really don't. Anyway, the big news that I'm talking about. Oh, excuse me, guys. I did not turn my phone on silent. That's a lack of professionalism. Alright, sorry about that. The big news I'm talking about, of course, is Jesse Eisenberg being cast in the new Batman-Superman movie as frickin' Lex Luthor. Jesse frickin' Eisenberg, who played Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network, and that nerdy kid from Zombieland, is supposed to be Superman's greatest arch-enemy, the evil genius, the unstoppable, wicked, terrible, awful Lex Luthor. This is just horrible, horrible. It makes me want to cry. It's so bad. Seriously, what the heck is Zack Snyder thinking? Let me read the story to you. Warner Brothers has cast Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, and here's the other part of the news, which I like this casting here. Jeremy Irons will play Alfred in the film. That is kind of cool. That's a cool idea. I think Jeremy Irons is a really good fit for Alfred Pennyworth. Batman's right-hand number one guy. I think that's a good pick. The